Okay, my name is Dr. Paul Mayoni,
My name is Melissa Bridges.
and we're going to just spend a few minutes talking to you about the work that we do. We're both practicing marriage and family therapists, and about 3.5 years ago, we started a project called Couples on the Brink, where we work specifically with couples that are really in tough shape, couples that are hanging on by a thread.
We worked in a traditional format for many years, which is, for any of you who don't know, one therapist, once a week, for about 1 hour.
Yeah, that's pretty much the options that are available to couples, no matter what their problem or situation is. We kind of funnel them into this 1 hour, once a week model. And when we had the opportunity about 3.5 years ago, Hurricane Wilma came through South Florida and our office had been destroyed, and it was really a great time for us to reevaluate what it is that we do and how we practice.
It gave us an opportunity to kind of start over again and to throw out the rule book, and if we could do whatever we wanted with any population that we wanted, who would it be with and how would we do it?
We both have a passion for working with couples. We're both the type of people that grew up, friends and family would come to us, much like many people in our field. We had that sign on our forehead that said, we're good listeners.
Talk to me.
Yeah, talk to us. But we both gravitated toward working with couples, and we had the opportunity to, as you say, throw out the rule book. We didn't really know what we were doing at first, but we said, what if we just devoted much more time and resources toward these couples who are really struggling to stay together?
The extra time for them makes all the difference. It's like when a couple would work with us for an hour, it would just begin to get comfortable. It would just begin to open up, and the time is up, and we've got another couple out on the couch, and it just didn't make any sense for us.
Currently, we do about 4, sometimes 5-hour sessions with breaks, of course, but we're able to really, really soak in the situation, really, really get things out on the table, and in many cases, once and for all, just help couples to move forward. The other thing that we do that's very different is we work in a team approach. So we work in male-female co-therapy teams, and couples just love this because they come from a model where, you're either going to both click with this therapist, or more likely than not, one person is going to click with them, and the other person is going to feel like they've been sided against.
We have so many couples that come to us that have been to 4 or 5 other therapists, and they say that the therapist sided with one person or sided with the other, so they're very drawn to the fact that they're going to have a balanced perspective here.
And part of what we do is, Melissa and I will listen to a couple, and then we reflect with each other, and we give a couple an opportunity to sit back and just hear outside of themselves what they've been saying, and we mirror that back, and it's a very powerful experience.
So we had one couple that said, "This is kind of creepy."
In a good way.
And she said, "But keep doing it. Keep doing it."
It really provides a very, very different experience than the traditional kinds of therapy where the therapist is saying, well, this is how to communicate. These are the skills you need. We believe that all couples that we see have all the skills they need. They know how to respect each other. They know how to communicate. But it's broken down. And so much is built up over years that they've forgotten how. And so we provide a context where they can remember how to do some of those things that are going to make them have a much easier time together.
Like Paul's saying, that when you're in a relationship for any length of time, we believe that you're going to get to a stuck point, and things are going to build up. And how do you clear away all that build up and get back to the love that you have for someone, as opposed to just getting out of the relationship?
Right. And that's really the options that people have. You go to the traditional once a week for an hour, or you split up, or stay together miserably. And there's too many couples doing that.
We have that one couple that has stayed together miserably for 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
40 years they've been married, and they fought on their honeymoon. I mean, since day one, they were unhappy with each other.
Divorce was not an option, but they were getting to the place where they knew they only had so many years together on this earth again, that they needed to do something. And they were actually an easy couple to work with because, they would only get so far together before things just broke down. When they had this format to actually spend the time and clarify some things and clear up misperceptions and get on the same page, it was a completely different ballgame. And they related to each other.
They never thought that they would have come out of the experience and be seeing each other in such a different way, and they were really amazed at themselves, not just at us, but just about what the context of what we've created here can do for a couple.
Yeah. Well, and they're one extreme, being married for 40 years, but then we have couples that have been together for 3 months.
Right.
And they're unmarried, and they're also at this very, brink place where they want to make it work, but they're just really stuck.
Right, and I'm even thinking about some of the couples that we see that, they're on the same page with each other, but their families are very much against them getting together, and that is it's something that so many couples have to deal with. I mean, they're not in an isolated relationship, just the two of them. They have family, they have friends, and all of that feeds into who they are as a couple.
Yeah. Well, I'm practicing here in South Florida. I mean, we see such a diversity, whether it's couples that are from very different ages or multicultural couples.
So
gay
many
couples.
Multicultural couples.
Yeah, and so as you say, I mean, couples want to move ahead in their relationship together, but they also want their families on board. And many times they're not. And so they want to sort through, how can we get the best of both worlds? How can we love each other, but also move ahead in a way that, we can feel good about it?
Well, and that's what drew us to family therapy to begin with, is that family therapy is based on thinking that nothing happens in isolation. Everything is connected. So everything within a relationship is connected to each other.
You change one part of the system and you change the entire system.
Right, and that's so important, because traditional psychology is based on, okay, well, let me come in and let me help this individual, and then you're almost going to send them back out into their families and their relationship, and that somehow that's going to have an impact.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that that's the way that we've been thinking about relationships and problems for so long. And the field of marriage and family therapy came about in the 50s and really shifted all of that thinking and how we thought about people, how we thought about problems, and began working with entire families as opposed to individuals.
Well, and we're excited to kind of be experimenting with throwing out that rule book and expanding the parameters of what we do as therapists. And what a fantastic response we received from clients, from our colleagues, who were just really intrigued by the fact that we've got a team format, we've got extended sessions, we've got a lot of different technical things that we do that are very innovative, that people just are saying, wow, this is such a stale field when we think about it. And our colleagues are hardworking, caring individuals, but by and large, they're in very stuck systems.
Well, and they don't have a lot of fun. Yeah. And that has been something that's been huge for Paul and I from the beginning, is to create a context that we can help people and we can have fun.
Well, and I'm thinking of that couple that literally were on their way to mediation to get divorced recently, and the husband had heard about us on the internet, and he just drove here. His wife thought they were coming to mediation, and at the last minute he said, I want to give this one last try. And they did, and they spent 3 days with us, and they left, and they were no longer getting divorced. They decided to put it off.
And as crazy as it sounds, that the co-therapist that actually worked with that couple, they had so much fun, and they had such a great experience in working with that couple that we just had a conference last weekend, and they actually came and they spoke to our colleagues about that specific couple.
And the format.
And how much it changed their lives.
Yeah.
Not the therapist's lives, but how much it changed the couple's lives in working in this unique way.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see some of the transformations, not only with our clients, but even, as you say, when we present our ideas to colleagues, and they're like, wow, this is what our field needs. We need some innovation. We need some new ideas, because the old ways of just kind of locking yourselves in an office for an hour once a week is really outdated.
What else do we have, Paul? Anything else?
No, hopefully our enthusiasm and excitement for the field has come through, and obviously if the folks watching have any other questions, they're free to give us a call.
All right. We look forward to meeting you guys.